here, and as you know, we're doing devotions now. So I want to bring you along with mine and what I've read recently, and something I think is actually really important as followers of Christ that we should pay attention to, and not be afraid of, but actually take and use it to our advantage, to give us motivation to push us further and to open up the kingdom, to really pour out and to grow the kingdom as we know. So we'll be reading Mark 13, verses 19 through 23, if you guys will read along with me. It says, "For those days will be such a time of tribulation as has not occurred since the beginning of the creation, which God created until now, and never will again. And if the Lord had not shortened those days, no life would have been saved, but for the sake of the elect, whom he chose, he shortened the days. And then if anyone says to you, 'Look, here's the Christ,' or 'Look, there he is,' do not believe it. For false Christs and false prophets will arise, and will provide signs and wonders in order to mislead, if possible, the elect," aka us. "But beware, I have told you everything in advance." There's a few things I want to focus on right here. It says that these days will be unbearable, essentially. Basically telling us it'll be the worst we've ever experienced in this human lifetime. Something that what even it says is that nothing that we've experienced before or even now in these current days will compare to what's going to happen in that moment of time. Revelation's description of God, this is him pointing out his wrath on a God-rejecting world, which is currently the state we're in, which is unfortunate. But God has to do what he has to do, right? "But for the sake of his chosen ones, he has shortened those days." So because of us, and he loves us, he shortened those days, and he ultimately says that, "I know that you won't be able to handle them. I know that it would completely take out humanity, so I'm going to shorten those days." And we know what's to come and what's to follow these shortened days is Jesus' return, which he also speaks on this idea of false prophets. He speaks on the idea saying that there's going to be people that are going to try and mislead you, saying, "I am the Messiah," or even pointing out this person and saying, "Look, there's the Messiah." And Jesus here is telling us, hey, they're going to try and mislead you. Matter of fact, they're going to try and mislead you, my chosen people, and push you towards this false prophet, right? But I want to pay attention to this right here. He says, "But beware, I have told you everything in advance." And I want to focus on this really heavy right now. Oftentimes we get so afraid and so lost on this idea that what's to come and this wrath that God's going to pour out, and we begin to really actually idolize this idea of these tribulations. What we don't recognize is it's not the idolization, but it's the opportunity that we now have to have an urgency to further the kingdom. We want to every day to continue to pour out our lives to save people, to bring people closer to Christ. And if we focus on this idea that, oh my gosh, the wrath is going to come and we're all going to die, but only a few people will get chosen and selected, and the people that love God will be brought to heaven, that's not what Jesus is trying to say here. Jesus is trying to give us a warning to say, you never know when this time's going to come, but in urgency, I want you to go save my people. I want you to further the kingdom. So that's just really been heavy on my heart. I think it's really something important and something that we often look past because we're so focused, especially in our current economy, of just all these terrible things that are happening and saying man, this world's going to end in a terrible place. But we as believers have a greater calling, a greater serve to say that we can serve these people and we can further the kingdom. So I love you guys. We're so thankful to have you. Have a great day.